Good morning. Please remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Prefect, off!
Please remain standing for the national anthem performed by Brockton Public Schools band.
Forward, march!
Thank you to our JRTC program. Good morning. My name is Susie Burns, and I am a very, very proud principal of Brockton High School. It is my pleasure today to welcome you to our Veterans Day Assembly. On behalf of all the students and staff at Brockton High School, I would like to welcome Mayor Robert Sullivan, Plymouth County District Attorney Tim Cruz, and Superintendent Michael Thomas to this very important event. I would also like to thank the members of our City Council and School Committee who have taken the time to be here to celebrate and recognize our veterans. I particularly want to mention all the veterans in the auditorium here today. Thank you for your service and for sharing this day with us. So Veterans Day is tomorrow. It's more than a day to sleep in late, it's more than a day to go shopping. It is a day where we set aside as a nation our time to recognize the courage and the sacrifice and the commitment of all of those who have served our country in times of war and in times of peace. It is a day to say thank you to those who have sacrificed so much to protect the freedoms and the values that we hold dear. These freedoms and values are central to who we are as a nation. This year at Brockton High School, we have identified 5 core values that define us as a community of learners and educators. These core values are positivity, responsibility, inclusiveness, determination, and empathy. These are not just values that apply at school. These are values that we hope all of our students will carry with them into their adult lives. Our veterans exemplify the importance of having a core set of values that sustain us in good times and in bad. Core values, as you might have guessed, is the theme of our assembly today. Mr. Brophy's history class took a lot of time to talk and think about core values and to really think how are those exemplified by our veterans. So we thank Mr. Brophy's class, we thank our veterans. I want to close my remarks with a quote from President John F. Kennedy. As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not in the utterance of words, but how we live by those words. So I think that's an important theme today when you think about values and what unites us as a nation. So with that, I would like to invite Mayor Sullivan to come up and make a few remarks. Thank you.
Well, good morning, everybody. I really want to, first of all, thank every veteran. I've never served a day in my life, but I am thankful each and every day. So if you're a non-veteran, let's give a round of applause for all our veterans. I want to thank Principal Burns. I want to thank Superintendent Mike Thomas. I do want to thank all of the dedicated staff here at Brockton High School throughout BPS. Just wonderful, wonderful men and women that educate the next generation. I do want to again thank DA Tim Cruz for being here, State Representative Michelle DeBoff for being here. I know Councilor Susan DeCastro is in the back. I know City Councilor Lodge, and our new State Representative Rita Mendez is here. Thank you for being here. And yeah, let's give her a round of applause. I do also want to thank the school committee vice chair, Joy Zazak and Tim Sullivan, but more importantly, I want to thank the boys and girls of Brockton High School. This is what it means. Without the sacrifices of the brave men and women that have served our nation, in conflicts of past and current day, those that paid the ultimate sacrifice and those that came home, we would not be able to assemble. We would not have been able to have a wonderful election on Tuesday without those sacrifices. So, as someone that, again, hasn't served, I'm just so thankful for the brave men and women that have served. So, today is a day that we celebrate tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Kelly Young, Veterans Affairs agent, is here. We do a march off at the War Memorial at 10 a.m., a parade. So if you're around the city of Brockton, please join us tomorrow. God bless the United States of America. God bless the Commonwealth and the City of Champions. And God bless our veterans. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd now like to invite Superintendent Michael Thomas.
Thank you. I as well want to honor the veterans for those who have served and are serving. Four of my uncles were in World War II. One of my uncles served in Vietnam, and my dad served in non-war time. So I've always been in awe of veterans, and I did not serve, and I think back and wish I did when I was younger. They won't take me now because I'm a little bit too old. So, but I am always in honor of veterans. So thank you for your sacrifices. Thank you for all you do for our country. I want to thank the BPS, Brockton High School administration, all the Brockton Public Schools veterans who are here. Some of them here from Brockton High, some throughout the school district. So thank you all. And then I was talking to two new bus drivers this morning, and they said, well, if we weren't so new, we'd be here. And I want to. They've heard so many great things about this assembly, and it's always been just wonderful. They've always put on a wonderful job, the JROTC and the band and the social studies classes who have participated. So I was talking to Jerry Ryan and Jimmy Thomas, no relation, and they were just asking, oh, hopefully we can come next year, and we're going to try to figure out now that hopefully we can start to get some substitutes back in our school system. We can bring some vets from around our other schools that some of the students had here as teachers and make it such a much more bigger event next year. But I want to thank you all, and God bless the veterans. Thank you.
Thank you, Superintendent. So right now, Kevin Cardell is our band leader, and we have a musical selection called Marches of the Armed Forces. So for those veterans in the audience, when you hear your particular branch of service being played, please stand so that you can recognize them.
Thank you. United States Air Force. United States Navy.
Thank you to all who have served, and a big round of applause again for our band. That's like awesome. And I would now like to invite up Mr. Brophy to speak for us, and they're going to do a little presentation for us. So, Mr. Brophy.
Thank you all very much for being here today. For those of you who don't know me, I'm David Brophy. I'm a history teacher here in the Green Building, and a lot of other people today. I'm not a veteran. My father served in the Air Force in non-combat time, and he couldn't join us here today. But like Mr. Thomas and Mayor said, it's awesome to recognize the veterans and what they do and the sacrifice that they've made. So each year, every sophomore class has to complete a civics project. And my class volunteered this year, guys, here's me, to take on this project. I spent a lot of time researching different parts of Veterans Day, what it means to be a veteran. And after a lot of conversations, the kids thought it'd be really good to kind of bring this day back to what we're doing here at the high school, the Pride Initiative, as Principal Burns mentioned earlier. Just a little bit of my thunder on the speech. But the idea of school pride is positivity, responsibility, inclusiveness, determination, and empathy. And we try to emphasize that here at the school, try to have the kids showing it, and we believe that it's tied back to what veterans do on a daily basis. These are all things that they do throughout their military service. So we thought we'd try to highlight that and tie it all back together. So we'll have the students come up and talk a little bit about each one of those traits. So reading positivity is Jusara Goncalves.
At Brockton High School, the first of our traits is positivity. Through our sports and teams and other clubs and activities, students at BHS show a positive outlook and try to show Brockton in the best light possible. In the school, we give our teachers and classmates positive readings to show that we are warm and welcoming and positive that we outlook helps to keep us motivated when we encounter difficult tasks.
Reading responsibility is Yoslady Avelina.
The second trait that we try to portray at Brockton High School is responsibility in all that we do. There are little things that we do that shows responsibility, like wearing our IDs, doing our schoolwork, and respecting our teachers. That goes a long way to make our school better and safer. We also show responsibility by telling our teachers when a friend is hurting themselves or making destructive decisions. We have a responsibility to protect our friends and keep our school safe.
Thank you. Reading inclusiveness is Mama Isiola.
Students that come from very different countries and a wide variety of different languages. People from all different races and ethnicities. People with lots of different ideals and political beliefs. People, Brockton High School has created an environment where people are encouraged to take part in all the different activities we offer and to feel welcome no matter who they are. Brockton High School is a place where people are encouraged to be who they are and about other purposes and beliefs.
Good job, Emily. Reading Determination is Jason's song.
The fourth chair at Brockton High is showing to represent is determination. Determination is all over the school. We see it in the classroom where our teachers are determined to teach us the curriculum, to prepare us for the outside world. We see it in the sports field where our teams are determined to win and compete for championships, and in the arts where our artists are determined to be some of the best in the state. Determination is a key trait because it allows us to challenge ourselves and be better in all that we do.
Thank you, Grace. Reading Empathy is Aria Simmons.
The final trait that we choose to highlight at Brockton High School is empathy. This is such a big trait because it talks about who we are as people and how we relate to our fellow students. Sometimes our friends are going through a breakup, a family member is sick, or there is some other event that is happening in our lives, and we try to support one another. We also have teachers, guidance counselors, and support staff who make it to a point to check in on us and make sure we are doing okay, and that we have everything we need to be successful. While the school may be huge, you can always find someone who is willing to listen to you and not judge you.
So with all those traits in mind, we put together a video of veterans, local veterans, and to introduce the video is Nevaeh and Najife.
Thank you all for being here and listening to our presentation today. I compiled a video of veterans from all different branches of the military to show how veterans also portray these different qualities in their service. Some of the veterans are teachers, former students, or local vets. Thank you to all the veterans that are here today. We appreciate your service and sacrifice, allowing you today and tomorrow.
The trait that I decided to pick was positive because while I was in the Marine Corps, you always had to be positive when it came to any sort of situation you were in or you were going to be absolutely miserable. So when it came down to a training mission, a regular actual mission, or anything like that, you had to look on the positive side of it rather than the negative side of it in order to get through it.
Or gave me a real understanding of what it's like to be in a different culture and not necessarily being accepted by the culture. So it taught me to be empathetic to people that were different than me when I got back to the United States.
I did 2 contracts, stayed in for about 7 years, and I have nothing bad to say about the military. My experience has been super positive. I've met the most amazing people who have uplifted me, who have helped me, who have taught me, helped me grow both as a person and in my career. The positivity I received from my superiors, even from some subordinates, has been breathtaking. Every experience that I've had in the military, although probably some of the hardest things I've ever done, have been some of the most amazing, and I'm forever grateful for all the people, all the experiences I received.
I found it to be very inclusive. I grew up in a very small town, Norton, where diversity really wasn't existent. And when I joined the military, I got to meet people from different walks and ways of life, from different places. I got introduced to so many different cultures and so many different people who became family to me as I went on to different duty stations. Many, in fact, I'm still in contact with today, thanks to social media. I look at my time in the Air Force as one of the best decisions I made in my entire life, and my life became so rich as a result of my experience.
It taught me that I have a responsibility to focus on respect. When you enter a room, especially during a training phase, you're really expected to see who's in the room and see if someone is higher ranking than you so that you can defer to them if they're in charge. And I think that's a skill and I think it's something we really need to focus on, especially in school. We walk into a room, there's a lot of people, and we need to see who's in charge. We need to see what our role is. And I think in the military, there's a very clear way to know that. In school, it's a little more difficult. But for me, whenever I walk into a room, I really scan the room. And I think who, if I was in the military, would deserve a salute, right? And who should maybe be saluting me. And I think it's important to show respect that way through position, age. In the military, obviously, is rank. And I think that obviously works in a school too, when we have people in different years of study and people in different roles in the school. And I think that military model really does work to help you know who you're dealing with and who you're talking to, and help us get along and show respect, as well as get the respect that we deserve.
In my time of service, I was first and foremost a peacekeeper. In that time, I prided myself most on the positive changes that myself and my fellow soldiers were able to make during a country's civil war that took place in Bosnia and Herzegovina, the former Yugoslavia. Students just like you, I took pride in the fact that we were able to bring back the peace so that students could go back to school and learn again and become world leaders. They could become the future, just like this one.
Who's that, Dad?
Just some friends. Want to say hi?
Hello.
The trait that I chose to pick is respectful. Reason being is in this line of work, no matter how big the mission may be, whether it's small or large, you really have to work as a cohesive unit, and to do so, you really have to respect, your leadership, whether it's somebody above you, beside you, or below you in rank. Not just as a rank, but as a person as a whole. You really have to respect one another.
My story, what I want to talk about is empathy. My gosh, when I was in the Navy, I had an opportunity to travel to so many interesting spots, but the third world countries were probably the one that touched my heart the most. I would meet so many young girls who were about my age, and they all had huge dreams, but no opportunity. And it opened my eyes to that lack of opportunity. The one thing the military gave me more than anything else was opportunity.
Positive. My time in the service consisted of always looking on the positive side of matters to maintain morale. Having a positive mindset was crucial in facing challenges and understanding there are lessons to be learned to make me a better soldier.
During my time in the Marine Corps, I earned the rank of sergeant and served in both Fallujah, Iraq, which you can see behind me, in 2006, as well as Jalalabad, Afghanistan in 2011. Probably one of the biggest lessons or takeaways I have from my time in the military is maintaining a positive mental attitude, as they say. Maintaining a positive mental attitude and being positive for yourself and your peers can have a tremendous impact on the outcome of the mission, or a survival situation, or just the general morale of the team. I also think personally that maintaining a positive mental attitude and being positive in life can help yourself with your own personal goals more than probably any other attribute.
I think without determination, you're not going to do well. You have to be very determined and follow through with it. And it worked for me in the Army because I got promoted very quickly. I did well, and I did my job, and I keep my soldiers safe. And I loved it. But be determined in college, and if you go to the Army or any other force.
I served in the Marine Corps for 6 years, and the trait that I chose to do is inclusive. And the reason I chose that is for the brotherhood and sisterhood that comes with being in the military. It's a brotherhood like no other. You'll meet people from all around the world, all different places, and you'll develop a bond with them that'll last you a lifetime. And it brings you back to the motto of the Marine Corps, which is Semper Fidelis, which means always faithful.
I would like to highlight inclusive as a part of Brockton's Pride initiative. In my time serving in the military, I had the opportunity to meet men and women from all over the country, and really from all over the world, from different races, religions, and backgrounds. Serving in our great military was the common thread that brought us together. And from there, we found more common ground that led to long-lasting friendships that I still value today.
And I just want to say that one thing the Army taught me was the importance of being determined, having determination. And while I was in, there was always a lot of difficult tasks that weren't easy to do. But what it forced a person to do, it forced me to do, was to dig deep down inside myself so that I could accomplish the task and not let myself or my team down.
I picked R for responsible. Marines were responsible for being ready to serve their country, responsible for their appearance, responsible for their preparation for active duty, and responsible for being ready to be in any climate or country around the world to serve the United States and protect us.
I chose to highlight Determined from Brockton's Pride Initiative. During my time in the Army, there were countless times when being determined made the difference between success and failure. Whether I was trying to pass a course, complete a training exercise, or a real-world mission, being determined to not only succeed but excel was one of the primary keys to success. For myself and the other paratroopers in my unit, determination to stay focused and not to give in to fatigue or pain was crucial. And probably the most important part of being determined was being determined to not let my brothers down. We relied so heavily on each other. The thought of not being there to back one of us up was not even a consideration. That's why I picked Determined. So thanks for listening. Happy Veterans Day.
I want to thank all the veterans who helped with that program and Mr. Brady's class for a great job. Give them a round of applause. And our great band. Thank you. Very powerful. Nicely done. Thanks again. Let's have another round of applause. For the great day here. Brockton Public Schools is very fortunate to have on our staff veterans who not only serve their country while in uniform, but continue to serve their communities, as educators and members of the Brockton Public Schools. So one of those veterans is Mr. Craig Savory, who graciously every year volunteers to read a very powerful piece about what a veteran is. So I want to thank all the veterans on staff and invite Mr. Savory to come up and give that address. Thank you.
In 1921, an American soldier, his name unknown, was buried on a Virginia hillside overlooking the Potomac River in the city of Washington. The Arlington National Cemetery burial site of this unknown World War I soldier became the embodiment of dignity and reverence for America's veterans. Similar ceremonies occurred earlier in England and France, where an unknown soldier was buried in each nation's highest place of honor. These memorial gestures all took place on November 11th, giving universal recognition to the celebrated ending of World War I at 11 a.m. November 11th, 1918, the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. The day became known as Armistice Day. If the idealistic hope had been realized that World War I was in fact the war to end all wars, then November 11th might still be called Armistice Day. Since that time, however, Americans have answered their nation's call in times of war and crisis to serve their country with courage, dignity, and pride. So what is a veteran? Simply put, they are our fellow Americans who have given their time and even their lives for our country. America's veterans have served for a wide variety of reasons. Some may have been drafted. Others chose to join out of a sense of duty and patriotism. Many joined looking for adventure, or even because they lacked direction and thought the military would afford them discipline and opportunity. Regardless of the motivation, the reality is that our veterans have given years of their lives in both peacetime and war to serve. Their collective experiences span 2 world wars, several foreign conflicts, and the periods of peace in between. They have followed war mules through Flanders fields, stormed the beaches of Normandy, faced the icy cold of the Chosin Reservoir in Korea, trudged the rice paddies of the Mekong Delta in Vietnam, parachuted at night into Panama, raced across the Iraqi desert, and fought bravely in Kamdesh and Kandahar in Afghanistan. Our veterans stand ready now in an uncertain world where terrorists and petty dictators threaten world peace. Some veterans bear visible signs of their service, a missing limb, a jagged scar. Others may have a pin holding a bone together, or a piece of shrapnel in their leg. Many carry another sort of inner steel, the soul's ally, forged in the refinery of adversity. Still, others carry the hurt within them. Trauma and suffering, it seems, are not always so obvious. Except in parades, the people who have kept America safe and protected our democracy wear no badge around it. You can't always tell who's a vet just by looking. What is a vet? The nurse who fought against exhaustion and futility to try and put soldiers back together in Da Nang. The trooper who spent 6 months in Saudi Arabia sweating 2 gallons of water a day to make sure the APCs didn't run out of fuel. They are vets. The countless drill instructors, pilots, radar operators, truck drivers, and soldiers who stood guard during the periods of peace to make them last, they are vets. They are the anonymous heroes in the Tomb of the Unknowns, whose presence at the Arlington National Cemetery must forever preserve the memory of all of the anonymous heroes, whose valor dies unrecognized with them on the battlefield or in the ocean's sunless deep. They are the ordinary yet extraordinary human beings who offered some of their life's most vital years in the service of their country, and who sacrificed their ambitions so that others would not have to sacrifice there. Please remember, it is the soldier, not the reporter, that has given us freedom of the press. It is the soldier, not the poet, that has given us freedom of speech. It is the soldier, not the campus organizer, that has given us freedom to demonstrate. And it is the soldier who salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag, who allows the protester to burn the flag. November 11th is Veterans Day, and each time you see someone who has served our country, just say thank you. That's all most people might need, and in most cases, it will be more than the medals they could have been awarded or were awarded. Thank you for your time, and could we all please stand and observe a moment of silence in honor of all veterans.
GRTC program here, and I work alongside Master Sergeant Bailey, who he demonstrates the attributes we spoke about today daily. So all that to say, you do not go unseen. I see you. I'm thankful to God for you. So now, will everyone please rise for the retrieving of the colors? Thank you.
Forward, march!
Thank you very much to everyone who attended today. I want to thank all of the veterans in attendance and all of the students from the band, from the JRTC programs, the Brophy's class, the classes that came down to watch. You know, the students are the engine that makes this school run. And when we talk about values and we talk about all of those things that we promote at school, it is so wonderful to see the veterans in attendance who just exemplify those values and really make it real for all of us. So thank you to everyone. I wish you all a happy Veterans Day. Students, if you could remain seated while any veteran or guest today would like to leave, we're going to be proceeding on to period 4 in a moment. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a great day.